This is a Zach Feldman Show replay on ZRadioLive.com.
The website music station Z Radio Live. This is the Zach Feldman Show. Joining me over the phone is a artist. He has a brand new song out called "The Devil in the Bottle," and we're going to hear it in just a little bit. But right now, we're going to talk to Joshua Wright on the air. Joshua, thanks so much for joining me here on the Zach Feldman Show.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on here with you guys.
Yes, so much. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Tell us all about this brand new song that we're going to hear in just a little bit.
Well, the song's called "The Devil in the Bottle." It's a song that I wrote over a period of time. It actually took quite a long time because I'm not really a songwriter. At least I didn't think I was till I did this. It's a song about addiction and drinking addiction at that, but it's a song that's really related to a lot of people, and I've heard some good feedback from all around the world. Just on Spotify, it's reached 48 countries. So it's been really humbling experience.
That's awesome. You know, and it's really blowing up on Spotify right now. And you have what you sent to us actually, and we're going to air on just a little bit, is the personal version of this song. Tell us a little about the differences between this version and the one you can hear on Spotify.
Okay, so this will be my version. It's more, I'm a big like Waylon Jennings fan, you know, some of the old style country, outlaw country music, Johnny Cash. And this version is more tuned to like a 50, 60 sound, like kind of almost like a ballad style sounding song, kind of like Cash and Jennings had in their music. And a lot of people tend to like that. I think one of the main demographics on Spotify was 24 to, it was like a 5-year margin there. I can't remember exactly. So it's actually young people are liking it, which has been amazing. But yeah, this one, the original's basically, you know, the 50, 60 sound. And then we did a remake with a girl from Germany named Vivi to Eddie Vedder's Hard Sun, and how that had come across was a guy sent it to me, and he had extracted my vocals and did my version originally, and I was like, well, nah, that don't sound too great. So he went with her version, and it sounded really good, and I'm like, well, I'm going to put this into production and do this thing.
Yeah, stay in your lane is what you should say to him.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool. You know, I'm excited for everybody to hear it too. I heard it before, you know, we started talking here, and it sounds incredible. It's such a deep undertone too, you know, of such a song. It's interesting though. You said that, you know, you didn't really think you were an artist, but like, you know, you play guitar, you play bass, ukulele, drums. You know, you play a lot of instruments, you know, and you've always been kind of in this music space. So tell us a little about how you got into the music space.
Actually, I started playing guitar when I would say around 12 years old. My parents kind of pushed that on me in a way. And so I got into guitar lessons at the local music store, and it took probably a good 6 months to a year before I was like, well, this is cool. Like I could play Folsom Prison and stuff like that. And I would take it to school, and, you know, and then it just went from there, and it's grown every day. My love for music, and especially using it now to reach other people. That's been really humbling to hear somebody say that song is like touched them in a way.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be incredible too as an artist. You know, and this is your first release. You know, tell us about kind of the feeling about finally getting the music out there.
It's a long time coming, that's for sure. But yeah, it's been great. I never thought the lyrics would come together to it, and I really didn't know how deep the message was until I actually recorded it, then heard it, and then it was like emphasized when I started hearing from other folks, and it's been a pretty cool experience, and I'm surprised that I got it wrote, honestly, but yeah, it turned out pretty well.
You know, what do you kind of, for those who are just finding out about you now, you know, what do you kind of tell people who Joshua Wright is? You know, like, what's his style of music?
The outlaw country definitely be number one. Oldies music for sure, 50s, 60s, you know, back to the heart of music, Sun Records, Elvis, and all that 50 style. And I used to have an oldies band, before COVID hit. As COVID hit, it kind of shut a lot of things down. So we haven't did much since then, but we would travel to nursing homes and such and do like doo-wop music and stuff that they could relate to. And they really liked that. And that's kind of got me at a young age used to being in front of people and playing music. So we did a show the other night in our hometown and it got really good reception and folks seem to enjoy it. I got to sign a few autographs, so that's always cool. And it's been pretty amazing experience overall.
Do you kind of miss the band? Do you want to go back to that band setting, or are you cool with being a solo now?
I definitely would like the band because it's hard to, if you want to take a break and let the band do most of our lead guitars, say like we did Folsom Prison, and it's always good to have, like that boom chicka, the sound that Cash had. Yeah, it's always great to have that. So yeah, definitely, I'd like to put a band back together.
And it's kind of great too. You're covering that type of style because I feel like a lot of artists these days are always just trying to go for what's popular out there, which is the pop rock or like, trying to go for rap in a sense. I mean, you have your own style, which is really great. And something that's unique to those who aren't, who are kind of in the game too. Did you always kind of feel yourself like, in that genre, or were you, do you ever want to explore other aspects?
Yeah, my dad's name is actually Elvis as well. So he had some, young siblings that got to choose his name, if I'm thinking correctly, or it was his mom that had input on it. But, I had found out about Elvis at a young age. I would put on shows for my family acting like Elvis and stuff. And I always thought it was just, for fun and everything. But it actually turned into something that this was even younger than learning how to play the guitar, which led to that and then led to where I'm at today. But yeah, other genres too. Like, definitely. I'm a rock and roll fan, AC/DC, Def Leppard, all them bands. So I don't see myself like performing that style of music, but I definitely like to mix it in. We did Freebird a little bit the other night, and that's always fun. So.
That's amazing. Well, I'm excited for people to check you out. Again, Joshua Wright. We're going to hear the song in just a few seconds here. But before you go, tell me about where people find you online.
Okay, so we're on Facebook. If you will go to facebook.com/Joshua Wayne Wright, that's our Facebook music page. We have an Instagram that's at Joshua Wright Productions, TikTok by the same, and the same tiktok.com/Joshua Wright Productions, and a YouTube channel. That one's at youtube.com/@Joshua Wright Productions.
Well, Joshua Wright, we're excited to hear The Devil in the Bottle. But before you go, tell me about what is next for Joshua Wright. What's next for the musician?
Okay, so I think I'm going to try to do at least one song every 3 months of this year. So 4 original songs by the end of the year. And that's a pretty far goal for me, with the songwriting aspect, but I've already have 3 ideas for a song, 3 individual songs in the process. And I would like to do a whole cover album of, like maybe a 50s cover album. So those are 2 things I'm looking forward to in the upcoming year.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear about it, and I'm excited to see what happens later on this year. You got to come back and definitely show us the album. I'm excited about it. This is Joshua Wright, and we are going to be playing the song now called "The Devil in the Bottle" here on the Website Music Station, Z Radio Live. Josh, thanks again for coming on the Zach Feldman Show.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me.
Want to hear more? Listen to the Zach Feldman Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ZRadioLive.com.